Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Jack, this is Jthbooks, and it is time for the February reading wrap-up. Boy, oh boy, what a month February was. What a month February was. The reading wasn't great. It wasn't great. We just got to be honest. I don't know what to say. It wasn't the vibe. You know, I sort of try and live on vibes here. The vibes were not vibing. No vibes. No vibes. No vibes. But essentially, we started off the month great, actually. We started off the month great. I finished 2 books in 2 days. And I said, here we go. Here we go. February's going to be great. Reading's going to be great. And then we plummeted. We plummeted. We were on top of Mount Everest and we fucking fell. Let's put it that way. It didn't go great. I haven't read for over a week now at the time of filming this. And this is going out in the day you see it. So I haven't read for over a week. So, yeah. But we can always just jump back into reading, can't we? It always swings and roundabouts. Life is about swings and roundabouts. And I'll get back to it. I will. Not sure when, but I will. You know, that's the beauty of reading and loving books. They'll always be there for you when you want them. But obviously, for the month of March, you have between these 2 books to vote for. And I have figured out what I'm reading. I'll leave it as a surprise. But I figured out. I should have known. Considering I'm a huge fan. I should have known. I don't know why I didn't think. It literally comes out on the 18th. The day before my birthday. So, whichever one I do end up reading, this will be read quick. Because by Wednesday, I'll be sitting on my ass. Well, no, I've got to go to work. Anyway, but I figured out. I thought I'd let you know. But I'll leave a little surprise for the vlog. But let's talk about February's reading. Because I jumped ahead. So, I only managed to read 6 books. I know. That was just still a great number, I know. But you think I finished 2 in 2 days. It could have been epic. And I did have a DNF as well, which I know I never DNF. Amelia, are you proud of me? Are you proud? So yeah, let's just crack on and talk about these books. First up, I read You Reach Sam by Dustin Tao. Now, in this we follow Julie, who is a young girl. She's in love with her first boyfriend. On his way to pick her up, he dies in a car crash. And in her sadness and her grief, she calls his mobile phone. That's what we call them in England. She calls his phone, and he picks up, even though he's dead. And she has this special connection to him that way. It's YA, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I actually sort of really enjoyed it. Actually, it's not the kind of book I should read because I just don't do well with grief books. It's just, it's not, I think it really sort of plays on the fact that what people would do for one more conversation, one more phone call, and it does it well, but it's not subtle. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I can't really handle it. I shouldn't have read it, really. But it was good. I thought it was quite a mature YA. Like, she, look, let's be honest, sometimes in YA they can be bloody annoying. But she wasn't. It was heartfelt, and it had some good black music songs throughout it, and it flipped back to when he was alive a lot, and you got stories of them like that. So when he was dead, you felt it deeper as a reader, and you felt their connection more. So I really liked all that, and it was really, I think she was a great character because she wasn't sort of selfish. She was quite selfless with it, and it was sort of, I gave it like a 4 stars. It was overall 4 stars. And there is another one coming out in this series, which I do believe follows maybe one of her friends in this, Oliver. So I will wait and see. Will I probably buy it? Yeah, I probably will. But who knows? But I probably will. Then I read Rejection by Tony Tulatamuti, which is a short story collection of rejection in all its forms. Whether it's people thinking they're a good person and they're getting rejected for that because they're actually not, or whether it's putting their fantasies out there and they're getting rejected for that, or whether they're going for like work opportunities and getting rejected. It's rejection in all its forms. And I will say, look, I did drop it in the bath and it did get damaged. But this was kindly sent to me by 4 for Sake Books, and it came out at the beginning of February here in the UK. I know a lot of people love this, and I did really like it. I just think it starts off much stronger than it finishes. I think sort of the first 2 stories maybe are really sort of engaging and intriguing, and you're like, whoa, and the writing is really sort of sharp and acidic, and it's just really keeps you engaged. So I almost couldn't believe it. Like I said, I started it on the first, like I started it on, maybe it was like the end of the first day of February, and I finished it by the second. So I couldn't put it down, but towards the end, it did lose me, and I don't know how memorable necessarily it is towards the end. Don't, like I said, people love this book. People are absolutely loving this book. So maybe don't listen to me, listen to other people. But it was just, there was something just sort of sharp and static about it, and it was sort of funny, and it really sort of got to the core of people, and you knew these characters and what the author was trying to say about them, and their many facets. So it was really good in that sense. I just don't think it was sort of worked being the length that it was for me. But if it does sound of interest to you, I would definitely pick up, because, you know, it definitely wasn't bad. Then, for my non-fiction for the month, I didn't read what I said I was going to. I forgot I pre-ordered this. And this is Love in Exile by Sean Fay. Now, Sean Fay is the author of the Transgender Issue, which is another non-fiction book. And I was very excited to read this. And in this, Sean Fay discusses love, what it's like to grow up knowing you might not experience love. It's sort of very much hit home for me, and it's beautifully written. It looks at love sort of as a bigger picture, and yet really sort of intimately. It looks at Sean's story of being trans and looking for love and realizing how hard it is, and it was just brilliant. It was just brilliant. But it did slow down my reading. I don't know why. Sometimes nonfiction just does do that to me. But it just looks at love and all the sort of the facets about it, all the sort of the rejection side of it, and the capitalism side of it, and the worrisome side of it. And yeah, I did sort of really need this book at the time. I sort of probably read this like over Valentine's Day, which probably wasn't smart, but and then we had my first DNF of the year. When I only had one last year, was it? Maybe it wasn't even last year. It might have been the year before. I can't really remember. But I DNF'd The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Robin Hobb. I know. I should drop this one in the bath too. I know. This is sort of like I just like a bit Booktube darling, isn't it? Really, if you like look around, some of the people I watch, they're like that. But for me, I couldn't get into it. All I got was Fitz is the sort of the bastard of the king, I think, or the prince, and then he's like sent away, and then he like stopped, like he's joined his mind with a dog, and I said, I'm out. Will I? And the trouble is, like, when I put on my Instagram, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's all linked down below. I'm like, oh no, DNF for me. People are like, no, it gets better in the second book. I don't want to read a whole shit first book. Be good the first time round, okay? I don't like missing out, but I can't decide if it's like a sort of a soft DNF, and I think, no, I'll come back to it, or if it's a definite DNF. But I do have the next 7 books in the series up there. But so I think if I just got rid of them, then I wouldn't think about it. They'd just be gone. So it might be a proper DNF. And then, because everyone was talking about the International Booker Prize and how the long list was coming out soon, it is out now. I wanted to read a book by a translated author. Now, this one, it's not eligible. It's been out for a few years, I do believe. But I read Hurricane Season by Fernanda McClure, translated by Sophie Hughes. Now, in this, we are following a village in Mexico that is sort of rife with the rumours of how the local witch has been murdered after she's found by some kids in a canal, basically. And this was a book I really enjoyed, but it was sort of very harrowing. It was very bleak at times. It's written like there's no paragraphs. It feels like you're steamrolling through the book. Every sentence is quick, and there just feels like there's no breaks. It feels just like it's like constantly punching you. But it was good. It just lost it towards the end for me for a bit. It definitely, you sort of started off with the sort of local witches perspective, and when I say witch, she's more like a she's sort of the woman they all hated, but they all went to for their ailments and things like that. They all thought she was horrible and vile, but they all needed her. And then you follow other like customers that go to her, and then the person that maybe killed her. And I liked the way it all interconnected like that. I am a sucker for that. But for me, towards the end, it just got a bit repetitive, and there didn't feel like there was any times to sort of languish in the story. But like I said, it's sharp, it's punchy, it's just full throttle. It is absolutely brutal at times. There's sort of no let up from how hard it is, but it feels like you could step into the village. You could see it so clearly in your head. So I would read more from Frances McClure, and I need to read more of my Fitzcarraldo editions, because I've got a few up there and I haven't really read many, and I really want to start reading some more translated fiction, so this was a good start. The last 2 books I read for the month are actually in a reading vlog, which I will link down below, because they came out of the jar, they're what you put in the jar, and I read The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett and The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Dee Sharp-Fillier. And I was going to pick a winner, but they were both pretty even. They were both pretty even. I really enjoyed them both. I think they both have different strengths and they both have weaknesses. Like, I loved the first half of this one. Oh my goodness, I was so intrigued. I sort of did a little excited dance. So intrigued, but I think it lost it towards the second half. And this is a short story collection that I personally would have liked to have seen interlinked a bit more. I would have liked characters to pop up. I would have liked to know that they were going to the same church, or they were talking about the same pasta. I would have really loved that. Pasta. I said pasta, not pasta. But both really enjoyable books. I can't recommend them both enough. I just hit one of them on my bookshelf, but I've had these books for so long, and I'm so glad that I read them. And that's all thanks to you. But like I said, if you want to know my full thoughts, link down below on the reading vlog. So, there we have it. My reading for February. Let's hope March goes a bit better, because there wasn't sort of a, real sort of standout book, I would say. I do like a standout book, and I didn't get one. So, let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know how your February reading went. Let me know what's the longest reading break you ever had, because a week is quite a long time for me. So yeah, feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to speak to you all really soon.